is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Bristol Flyers Podcast, proudly sponsored by WebGains. I'm Joel Osborne, and he is Sam Hardy. And Sam, the season is officially over after the Flyers fell to Cheshire in Game 2 on Friday.
What a shame. It wasn't the happiest end of the season, Joel, but these things happen. We are here. It's been a good, long season, and I bet you are ready for a few months off or a few weeks off.
Well, we got a couple more weeks yet before we take the time off. We've got a few more things to wrap up at our end, including today's podcast episode, and also next week's podcast episode, which we announced this week, is going to be our live audience episode of the pod, Sam.
Yeah, boy. I always love that episode, Joel. And you finally got a plan together, mate.
Yeah, we got the plan together. We announced the plans officially. So we are going to be on court at the SGS Wise campus Tuesday, May 14th for our live audience episode of the Bristol Flyers podcast. I love this episode. It just brings the whole community together. Regardless of how the season went on the court, it brings the whole Flyers family, all in one place. It's the last chance for everyone to see the 23-24 roster before everyone goes their separate ways for the summer. Make sure you get your tickets for that, by the way, over at bristolflyers.co.uk. Tickets are completely free. And Sam, also, I can tell you that we have already shifted over half the tickets for that event.
No, Joel, of course we have. People love this community. They love this family. They want to say farewell to the current players we've had. And it's going to be amazing.
Doors open 6 p.m. on May 14th. There's free parking for fans down at the Aviva Centre, as always, same as during a Flyers home game. Podcast starts at 6:30 p.m. So make sure you come down and join us. It's going to be fan Q&A. We might do a raffle or a raffle to win some prizes, win some Flyers. See what I did there?
That's my joke. I said that in the office yesterday. You can't steal my joke like that.
Well, just when I did it.
I don't know if you saw. If you were watching this on YouTube, the opening image, Raf's looking big and strong on that as well. And he always does look strong, but he's particularly in that one. I don't want to show it now because our guest will be... There it is.
There it is.
Look at that.
He is. He's looking pretty jacked there, isn't he?
He's looking unreal there. So there you go.
Hey, yo. So you can put that sound on. Sam's slow on the sound. There you go. Sam's slow on the soundboard today. Is that what's going on, Sam?
Joel, leave me alone, all right? It's been a long day.
We have got a busy one for you on the soundboard today because today is our Supporters Club end of season awards episode.
You got to be careful. I might just start putting random ones in there, mate.
Brilliant. I do love a good sound here on the Bristol Flyers podcast. There's no mic for producer Dan today, by the way, because we have two guests in studio. Coming up on this week's show, we are going to be talking about Game 2 a little bit, not too much. We'll talk about it a little bit. We'll brush over the game, but reflecting on exactly. We are going to be cracking out some fresh waters to mark the end of the season, because why not? Plus, we'll be announcing the winners of the Flyers Supporters Club end of season awards. And here to join us in revealing the winners of the fan vote for the Flyers end of season awards for the Supporters Club. Please welcome back to the podcast founding members of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club, Sam Comley and Amy Atkinson. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
It only feels like yesterday, doesn't it, really? Because this is the third time we've had the pair of you on the podcast. The first time we did it was over in the Bristol Sport office. Mm-hmm. The second time we did it was right here. We were dressed up to the tens in our lovely suits. Do you remember that one?
I like that. That was fun.
And then obviously this time now, we are just here in the studio in our casuals. But I do notice you're both wearing Bristol Flyers Supporters Club t-shirts.
Yeah, we are. They're pretty snazzy.
They're very snazzy. I imagine you get a lot of fans knocking on your door now asking where they can get one.
Oh, I'm sure they will. We'll have to see what people say. But at the moment, there's no plans. But who knows?
Well, I'd like to order 100, please.
We're still waiting.
You got the money, that's fine.
I'll pay you after, yeah?
We are still awaiting podcast merch from Anna Jagger, aren't we, from Loyal to the Game. We're hopefully going to have a little chat in the summer, talking about plans for Flyers podcast merch, so that should be very exciting.
Well, that'd be good, because at the moment we're wearing different coloured t-shirts.
Yeah, normally we do match colours, but Sam's opted to wear the older colour today. So you can see his is a bit darker without the little line on the sleeve.
Sorry, mate.
Should be a forfeit for that, really, shouldn't it?
No, I think I said to you, old Flyers Navy. You've just you've messed up on this one, Joel.
Well, there we go. Sam, Amy, for those who aren't too familiar with the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club, tell us all about it. How did it start, and how do people get involved with the Supporters Club?
So it's predominantly a Facebook-based group, which is kind of where we communicate with everybody, share news, share opinions, and that's how we've kind of used it as a platform for the voting for these awards as well. But yeah, I don't know how. I don't remember the first time I met you, Sam, at basketball. But
Well, the first time we met was in the playoffs at Leicester.
yes, it was.
So I think that was in 2017.
Yeah.
Was it?
So I think we were the only away fans that went to that game, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And then we got chatting, and then that's how we kind of,
I love hearing those origin stories about how people discover Bristol Flyers, because obviously, you know, they're part of the Bristol Sport Group, and I know, Sam, you're a massive supporter of all the Bristol Sport teams. You're a 5-time season ticket holder this season.
I am, and I will be 5 times next season as well. So
Really?
I've already renewed for the football and the rugby, men's and women's, so it's just waiting for the Flyers season ticket to go.
If I was to put you on the spot here, though, Sam, all 5 clubs, where you ranking them, most exciting to watch, who's your favourite to watch, favourite at the top, least favourite at the bottom. Obviously, Flyers goes first, but what are you putting the rest of them?
Well, actually, Flyers do come first.
Oh, really?
I've took a bit of stick from my nephews for this. I know they were upset when I said on the radio that Flyers is my favourite out of the ones at the moment.
Yeah.
I tend to put football first in terms of going to because of my nephews, and I take them to the games.
Oh, I see.
So that takes preference from that perspective. But in terms of my own personal enjoyment, if it's just me going, then I would always pick Flyers first. So it's normally Flyers. I have to say I enjoy the rugby more than the football at the moment.
Especially right now.
Yeah, and then
Flip.
the football comes third on that. The women's games I'm fairly new to, so I'm still learning a bit about it. So they're 4th and 5th at the moment. But in terms of the standard of how they've progressed in the last couple of years, it's been phenomenal, really.
Yeah. Oh, it's grown massively. So what happens when there's multiple teams playing at home at the same time then? How do you make the choice? Are you divided and have to choose, or has it not really happened too often?
It's probably happened about twice for each sport. So it's not been too bad this year. What it comes down to is if I go with my nephews or go with my dad to the rugby and stuff. So that sort of tends to take preference on how it impacts other people.
Also, there's certain sports, like rugby's has only got like 11 or 12 home games with all the European and all the rest of it. So it's actually probably, you're going to choose that over some of the others as well, aren't you? Because there's less of them. Yeah,
no, that's true. It does make a big difference from that point of view as well. But I have managed to get quite a few away games as well in. I think I've been to 9 Bristol City away games this year. I've been to Europe with the Flyers twice.
You have, yeah.
Went to Europe with the Bears as well. Went to Bordeaux. So.
Wow. I remember,
Do you do anything else, mate, apart from watch sport?
Watch more sport. So I actually watch quite a lot of sport. I watch a lot of wrestling.
He does watch wrestling, and we have conversations about it all the time, Sam.
You put your hands down and you be quiet. I've had enough of this.
I always catch up with Sam before the Flyers games at home, and we have a little conversation. We had a conversation the other week, didn't we, about WWE and AEW wrestling? And Amy, obviously, you've been a fan for a long time now. I know you and your daughter Liv, you go watch Flyers on the regular, and you've been there since the very early days in the British Basketball League, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so. I work at the college, and when I started working at the college 10 years ago, I just got to hear about, the basketball that was going on in the sports hall downstairs, and that's how we got into it. Really, that would have been 2015, and been kind of going since then. She was in the Sevens club that they used to do for the young people.
Flyers Sevens, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So we used to we accessed it through that, and then the next season we had a season ticket.
Wow.
Never looked back.
It's time for British Basketball Beef.
Oh no. Sponsored by Cow & Sow. What's the beef, Sam?
This isn't in the notes, Joel. This is just coming straight from me right now.
Let's hear it.
There was a moment where, during the season, maybe last season, Amy and Liv would bring us cookies, right? And we'd have cookies nearly every week for a while. And it just stopped for some reason, Joel. I have no idea why.
I can explain that. So
you better explain it.
Our captain, Mr. Thomas Edwards, it got to the point where sometimes, because of the late tip-off, players weren't doing sign-ins, I would give him the tin of cookies and he would take them and distribute them. He never brought them back. So we had a massive lack of cookie tins, although I can report that these were returned to me during the last game.
Oh, how many did he return to you at once?
Well, he gave me back 2, but I'm not sure. He says that's all of them.
You know.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not true.
two tins to cover the whole season. Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, but the baffling bit. So does that mean you just stopped making cookies?
Well, we had to come up with some very creative storage solutions, and some of the players don't like to take them from the tin. Some of them like them in a little, Corey particularly doesn't like to eat them there and then. He likes to take them away.
Doesn't like the players' grubby hands all over
Well, we
them.
like ours in a bag still, so bear that in mind for next season.
There's a plastic crisis. I'll do my best. I'll find a more sustainable packaging.
There we go.
I'll bring you some beeswax, that little, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, nice. Got you covered.
Now, before we crack on with the rest of the podcast, I thought it would be wise of us, because it is the end of the season, Sam, to crack out some of the fresh waters. Because you've got to celebrate the end of the season with a fresh water, surely.
And it's been so warm today. It's about absolute time we crack out a fresh water.
It has. You can't see under the desk here, but Sam's got his shorts on today. It's a first. You know the summer's here when Sam's got his shorts on. Oh, there he is. Hey, there is bare legs.
Get a bit of leg out.
So, without further ado, we should crack out this fresh water. And you can hear my bag jingle-jangling down under the desk. Because I got your freshwater orders, Sam and Amy, of lovely freshwater haze for the two of you. Sam,
Do you have a bottle opener or not? I'm going to try to use my keys.
Use your keys. Yeah.
Sam's going to do the honours with his keys. In we go.
Do you mind if I do it like this? The keys aren't working.
Producer Dan's got one.
Do you have one, Dan?
Here comes Producer Dan. Coming to the podcast. He always finds a way to come into our podcast.
You can do it, mate. You can be barman. You can be barman Dan today instead of producer.
Barman Dan. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds lovely. There you are, Sam.
Cheers, team. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone,
Cheers,
to the
everybody.
23-24 season. Cheers with fresh waters.
Joel.
Cheers, everyone. Clang, clang, clang. Oh, that is lovely.
H2O goodness.
So exactly. So we've got the fresh waters out here on the podcast. Only makes sense. Celebrating the end of the season. Why not have a lovely drink? Right. Let's talk about the season as a whole, because I know we featured you both on the podcast earlier on in the campaign. We've spoken about your flag in the past. You have the Supporters Club flag, and that's not here today, is it? Because it is actually getting bigger and bigger by the season.
Yeah, it's too big to bring along to the studio.
What did you add this year? Did you add any
We
others?
didn't need to add anything this year.
Yeah.
So, who knows, maybe next year we'll see who comes.
Yeah, next year we've got plans for a few South American players. Isn't that right, Joel?
Yeah, we're going to add all the players that aren't featuring on your flag right now, and you're going to have to double it in size. But essentially, it is a flag that consists of lots of mini flags, regular size flags stitched together, and each flag represents a player's nationality who has played or is playing for the Flyers, right?
That's correct,
in the
yeah.
middle, you've got the Flyers family flag. But I've noticed more flags have been popping up at SGS recently. Have you seen the Portishead Ultras?
Yeah, we saw
Yeah,
that.
we've seen that. They're not the true ultras, though. I'm sure Coach Nick would tell you that. Kev, Janet, and myself are the true ultras from when we went to Bulgaria.
Yeah, of course. But they call themselves the Portishead Ultras.
What would you call your? Yeah, I've seen that. What would you call yourselves?
Oh, that's
the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club?
yeah.
Well, you're saying they're not the real. They can be the Portishead. Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? It's a weird flag. Do you know who does it, Joel?
I have no idea. If you are in charge of the, if you're responsible for the Portishead Ultras flag, I know there's only 1 week left of the podcast. But do get in touch. We'll feature you on next season. But also, we did feature some other items that you have created this season. Most notably, the Roel Graham Bell and the Tevin Ollis horn. You've got them with you, haven't you?
Yeah, we do.
Hopefully
I
those
think Ing's
two
got
will
me.
I need to get a go on this bell.
It's quite heavy.
Kevin.
Here's the Tevin Ollis horn in the flesh. The Roel Graham Bell. Jingle jangle. Ring that bell, Sam.
To read it though, you can't really. You need to do it the other way, don't you?
Ring it. Hear ye, hear ye. Yeah, sorry to all the podcast listeners there, but the Roel Graham Bell and the Tevin Ollis horn are both in the house with us here today on the Flyers podcast. Let's talk about the season as a whole before we dive into these awards. What's the fans' view of how the season's gone? Because it's been a mixed season, the British Basketball League, first venture into Europe as well. What are your thoughts?
I think I think the main fault is just the inconsistency because of the injuries. Obviously, a lot of players having to come in and help out. So I think fans have been patient in general. and they understand the inconsistency with the games. I think the concern really is what was the impact of the European games? What did that affect have on the players' game times? And did we have a big enough squad to cope with that in the first place, or did we put too much on them that caused the injuries? I suppose that's not really for us to know, but it's what the questions are you hear the fans talk about, really?
I think when you look at injuries, it's really important to look at freak accidents versus like muscular stuff or whatever. And if we look at our season, most of them have been freak accidents, which really you can't say they're overloaded. Now you could say maybe they're putting more weight on certain areas because they are, but probably it's just been one of those flipping annoying seasons, Joel, where we've just got really unlucky, hasn't it?
I was saying last week to Matt Hardy, in my 10 years with the Flyers, I've never seen a season like this where there's been so many injuries to the team, where one player goes out for 2 months, they come back, and then all of a sudden you feel like you've got a full-strength squad again, and then someone else goes down. And, whether it's, freak accidents, and talk about freak accidents, I mean, Roel is purely a freak accident, getting back on the defensive end. I mean,
Keedy's a freak. Like the broken wrist, if you forget that, like I think actually the rest of the season goes a lot better.
Falling on your wrist and then breaking it again, it's like not really it's not like a overstrain injury. Even T-John Lucas slipping on the surface at Surrey is not a freak injury. And then Les hurting his hand in practice, that was literally a player slapping down on his hand, and then bang, his hand's gone for two. And then you look back at the start, even Christian Cunningham, pre-season knee injury. I think also you have to give credit to the coaching staff, because the team that Andreas recruited at the start of the season is completely different to the team we ended the season with. So all of a sudden you have to change the identity or the style of basketball you want to play to adjust to the new players. You have players like CJ coming in and then going out. You have Levi coming into the team. So it can be really hard to manage all of that, and to be able to do that and finish 7th and reach the quarterfinals of the EMBL, as all things considering, I think has been incredible. Really, I'd just love to have seen what this team could have done had they had a full season without those injuries. Yeah,
and I think that's the key thing. I think on our day we could beat anybody if everybody performed and we had everybody fit. We could do that. I think it's only Corey and Brad are the only players that played every game this season.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And that's insane to think only 2 players played every game.
And Big Bad Brad, because of how big he is, you wouldn't necessarily think you thought he'd be one of the ones that his body would be like, ouch, this hurts. But he smashed it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Really looked after himself.
And before the season, we had no idea what to expect with the EMBL campaign either. And I know you've been to a couple of away games as well. Amy, you've had a chance to watch the home games as well. I imagine you've watched the away ones on Flyers TV. What have you made of the sort of first venture into Europe as a whole? Because that's something completely new to the whole program. I don't think anyone was really expecting us to enter Europe so early, really.
No, I think from a fan's perspective, it's just been completely exciting. And being able, I couldn't go, which I was devastated about. But being able to kind of follow these guys who are, texting me every 5 minutes, this is what we're doing. And also being able to watch it on the stream. It's just really exciting to see how much appetite there is for basketball. And, we kind of, the only thing was looking at some of those stadiums, there wasn't a lot of people there, but actually our fans were representing the club as much as the players. And it was lovely to see the commitment.
Yeah, I think we had, there's a big takeover in Poland, wasn't it? You'll know. Because loads of fans went down to Poland. Bulgaria also, I know Sam, you went there, and Janet and Kev were there as well. I think there was at least a couple of travelling supporters to probably every EMBL away game this season. Because even like Tevin Ollison's brother came away to Cholet for the playoff game. So there was representation on the road at every EMBL game this season.
Speaking of Janet and Kev, I don't know if you ever talked about this on the pod, but when they went away to Bulgaria, there was a massive. Did we talk about this? There was a massive fire at Luton Airport on the multi-story car park, and Kev's prized lovely car was caught in the fire, and it got absolutely ruined, didn't it?
Yeah, so we went up in the car, parked right in the middle of where the car park was that caught on fire. So I think he got a message at like 4:30 in the morning saying that his car's potentially been stolen. Looked at the news and seen the car park on fire. So at that point, I think they looked at satellite images, and where his car was last located was right where it all collapsed.
Oh, wow.
So,
Gosh, he's only there for a few days as well.
Oh, no.
That's unlucky, isn't it?
yeah.
But you got to watch Flyers win.
It certainly made up for it. It certainly made up for it. It was a good trip, and I think the players were so surprised to see any fans turn up. I think that gave them a huge boost.
Yeah.
They didn't expect any fans to turn up to any of the away games, and I think that helped with the results. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has been a season full of ups and downs, highlights as well. Before we dig into our end of season awards, Sam, we should probably talk about Game 2 of the playoff quarterfinal, just rounding out the season as a whole. And before we actually dive into the game, can we just talk about the return of your big trick shot pre-game? Because on social media pre-game, I know you've done this throughout the season. It took a bit of a break, didn't it? But that's because you were trying all these attempts at this latest shot that you dropped before the game against Cheshire.
Well, this was only the second week I tried this one, but I tried throughout the season to do a few, and it just didn't go. And we ran out of time a little bit, didn't we? Like, we were coming later to games and all the rest of it. So we gave a few attempts, but that day we gave a proper good go. And Joel, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was absolutely buzzing with that one. It was so good.
Now, as you say, it's been a while since you landed one of these trick shots. Get this up on the screen, producer Dan, because before the game against Cheshire, Sam was doing his usual promo to camera for social media to push the live stream, and then he turns from the balcony. This is nothing but net. It's the cleanest splash I think I've ever seen. And believe it or not, Sam, this only took you, 3 attempps on the day?
Four attempts.
Four
I'll be
attempts
fair,
on
yeah.
the day to land this shot.
It was the biggest worry was the time before I completely doing it now, messed up what I was supposed to say, threw it hit the rim, and I was like, good job that one didn't go in, because otherwise it would be rubbish. But yeah, there we go, it went in. Happy days. Looked all right, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Sam, Amy, did you see did you watch that back on social?
Absolutely. So I walk across that balcony several times a day. I'm so tempted to give it a go.
Honestly, it looks like it's like I can vouch for that. That is a legitimate shot. It's not edited it or anything like that. It is a legit shot from the balcony.
Thanks, Joel. We got the other angle, but we didn't edit well, did it? So it's proof. It did happen.
It was quite far away. And then going on to the game against Cheshire, after that shot had dropped, I was thinking, it's going to be a good night for the Flyers. Everything's dropping. And it was a good start for the Flyers. They led by 1 point after the first 10 minutes, and you felt like it was and we spoke about it on last week's pod. We said, based on the first 5 minutes of the, media timeout or the first quarter, that will just determine how this game plays out. Flyers up by 1 after 10, and you're looking pretty good out there.
And then, Joel, the percentages went against us, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did. So Flyers leading 21-20 after the first 10 minutes. Then Ethan Jaguar comes into the game. And that was a matchup we spoke about beforehand, saying, it could be tricky for Brad Green in the post because he's a guy that likes to shoot threes. But he's not been their leading scorer all season. So if he does shoot threes, it's not the end of the world because, you've got other guys that do carry the load for them. But then Aaron Rye picked up where he a game and a half it was of great defense on Rye. He had 8 points in the first game. Second game, I don't think he was playing too well going into the half. And then in the third quarter, he absolutely exploded, getting what he wanted.
He had 17 free throws, Joel.
Yeah.
17, and he made 15 of them.
Cheshire up by 6 at the halfway point. Leslie Smith kept fighting for the Flyers on his way to 15 points off the bench. Great game for Leslie Smith, by the way. As you say, Aaron Rye took over. And he really showed why he's been an MVP candidate this season, because we played him really well up until that point. And you're thinking, if it's just Jaguar who's on fire and everyone else is sort of pretty cool, calm, you're looking good there. You're like, okay, that's fine. Let one player who's not necessarily top of the scouting report to go off, and we'll be okay. But then when the floor just opened up for Rye, really, and whatever we threw at him, he just seemed to have the right reads for it out there.
It was just, and not just him though, mate. The others were hitting threes as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they were daggers almost, because our percentage was so bad, and it was just. I can't even go into it.
Yeah, but didn't shoot the ball well from free again, and that was one of our keys to the game on last week's pod. They led by as many as 19, Cheshire. They held on for the win. Flyers, their season came to an end. Cheshire advanced the second round, 91-77. They win the series 2-0, and they will go on to face Sheffield in the semis this weekend. Sam, Amy, you were both at this game, right? Game 2?
We were, yeah.
What did you make of it as a whole, the game?
Oh, it's very frustrating, especially the second half. I think, you got to give credit to Cheshire for the defense. They stopped us creating any chances. We didn't really get the 3-point shots going. And that's just them closing us down really quick, really.
Yeah.
And not giving us those chances.
Yeah, that's been tough for us a lot this season, is our percentage from deep. Like, we've got a team that can shoot the three, but not necessarily. Don't know whether it's us getting the right looks or whether it's maybe us forcing late in the shot clock. But for some reason, those opportunities just not seeming to drop in those crucial games when they mattered most, and that proved costly. And going into game 2 after losing by 1 in game 1, you're sort of thinking, okay, maybe bring it back home, give them a good chance in front of the home crowd, chance to tie the season series up. And we were looking good after the first, and then just sort of drifted away in that second half, just one step too far, I think it was in the end. And you have to give credit to Cheshire as well. I mean, they're a team that they've been second all season long. They won the trophy earlier on in the season as well, and they've got multiple threats that can, that they're a lot deeper than the Flyers this season. They've got multiple threats that can go off in any given night. You look down the list, I mean, 7-8 players, I reckon, Sam, that can probably notch up double figures in any game, really.
Did I don't know if we had a little conversation about, or Helen messaged you actually, or the little Flyers podcast group, but afterwards we went to McDonald's and the Phoenix were in McDonald's.
I heard about this. I saw in the WhatsApp chat and I messaged you back and I said, who was in McDonald's? And you didn't respond.
Yeah, sorry, we were chatting about, but we were sat and they were all on one table, or a lot of them were on one table, and the Quincy, as I was walking about with our food, literally shouted over to me, "Yo man, get me on the podcast."
Really?
Yeah. and I had a quick chat with them, and then a couple of the others were saying they watched the one with Levi, because obviously because he was involved with those guys, and mate, we had a few others who have said they catch the podcast a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it?
I love how Ben Thomas takes them all out for McDonald's after they beat us in game 2 as well, by the way. It's like a little treat, isn't it?
It's so funny.
It's like going on a school trip. Well done, guys. Everyone have McDonald's.
You know, I probably had a 10-minute chat with maybe a bit less than with them, and as much as they beat us and they it was frustrating for us. We wanted to go through. Like, I really like them as a team.
Yeah.
I really like what they're about. They've done an unreal job this year, and I do wish them luck for the rest of the season. Yeah,
they definitely have managed to find a recipe that's worked really well. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Flyers from last season, where you've just recruited. I mean, a lot of the players are new to the team. You never really know what to expect when recruit players into a team that are new to the league or haven't played in the British Basketball League, or even their rookie season out of college. And for some reason, Cheshire this year have just managed to find the right pieces, very reminiscent to our squad from last season.
Yeah, it's like Aaron Wright, whatever, come from nowhere. Was it? They've won last year.
That's right. Yeah.
This year he's probably one of the like you say, he's going to be.
I reckon he's definitely top. I think he's definitely top 3, 100%.
Yeah, he's probably second, probably Morgan number 1.
Yeah, potentially. Well, they're going to announce it this week, I think.
Yeah.
So
I think Morgan would get it though, won't he?
I don't see how you can vote against someone that has won the league title. But saying that, the Aaron Rye story is a great story. Yeah. Coming from Div 1, no one knows what to expect. Comes into the league,
but he's like an 18.5 point game average.
Yeah.
And his rebounds nearly 8. So I think it's like 7.7 or something like that.
Is this Aaron?
Yeah.
He's a lot bigger in person as well, isn't he? I don't know if you when you see him at SGS, you watch him on TV, he doesn't look like he's that big, but when you see him in the flesh, he's a legitimate 6'8", and he's like hench. He's wham as well. Like, he's big. He's a big lad.
Whammy.
He is wham. Is that going to cotton on? I think so.
I don't think it will.
Well, there we go. Let's round up this game then. Tijon Lucas, 16.6 rebounds for the Flyers. Leslie Smith, 15 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. Great game for Leslie. Did I say that? I was really impressed with Les in that game.
Unreal. He's hitting the threes so nicely and consistently as well, wasn't he? By the end,
especially with Brad in foul trouble as well. I mean, you need that extra. He needs to play extra minutes, and he comes in and does really well. I thought that was really good. And then Tevin Ollison and Trajan Jacob, 10 points apiece. Cheshire, led by Rise, 34-point performance, also 12 rebounds. Jaguar with 27 points, and really they were the only 2 in double figures, and those were the guys that did the damage in game 2. It means our 10th season comes to an end. Disappointing way to end the campaign, but I know team will be back stronger next season. I think it's about time that we get to our awards, Sam. What do you reckon?
Let's do it.
Here we go. It's time for us to get to the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club end of season awards.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hey Flyers fans, this is the part of the show where we give a huge thank you to our podcast sponsor, WebGains. We've got Rob over there in the house, and without their support, this podcast would not be possible.
Now, WebGains is the smart affiliate marketing network who have an unbelievable track record when it comes to empowering advertisers and publishing partners to reach their potential and achieve game-changing results.
They connect businesses with top affiliates who can promote your products and services, reaching a wider audience and driving more revenue.
And here's the best bit, Flyers fans. WebGains provides you with detailed reports and analytics to track the performance of your affiliate marketing campaigns, making it easy to see the results of your hard work and investments.
But don't just take our word for it. Here's Rob from WebGains to tell you more.
Did you know that last year affiliates helped sell 12 billion worth of products for British brands, and every £1 spent on affiliate marketing by advertisers, also known in our channel as retailers, returned an average of £12.40.
That is actually crazy when you spend £1.
You get £12 back.
£12.40 back. It's so good.
It's amazing.
It's a good deal, isn't it?
And not only are WebGains sponsors of the Bristol Flyers podcast, but their company logo is also once again on the front of our home and away playing shorts, inspiring the team to make smarter connections, just like they do for thousands of brands on their international affiliate network.
So if you're ready to skyrocket your online presence and drive more sales, visit webgains.com and see how they can assist you in the world of affiliate marketing.
That's webgains.com, webgains.com. Give your business the assist it needs with WebGains Affiliate Network.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, let's get down to business, shall we? Welcome to the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club End of Season Awards. Sam, I think we should get some music here, Sam. I think we should get some awards music. Yeah, well, welcome to the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club End of Season Awards. Sam, Amy, we've invited you on the podcast to announce the winners of the Supporters Club End of Season Awards. Over the last few weeks, the Flyers fans have been voting in their numbers for their End of Season Award winners in the following categories: Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Moment of the Season. And we also have a new category this year for Funniest Moments of the Year. Looking forward to that one. Sam, are you excited for the End of Season Awards?
I'm just loving how the music's going, Joel. You're nailing that.
Oh, I love it. It's good to bring the music back. I never had it last year. It went out really well.
Felt good.
Right, so shall we get down to business? Let's start the awards with the Defensive Player of the Year. And this award was voted for by the fans as the player who made the most impact on the defensive end of the court. And Sam, Amy, this award could have really gone to a whole bunch of different players because, again, on the defensive end, we were great this year. We were second in the league, the second best defense in the league. I think it was 82 points per game we conceded this season, and that is down to a whole bunch of different players working hard out there on the defensive side of the court.
Yeah, I mean, we had votes for almost every. I think we did have a vote for every player, didn't we? So you know, people have recognised that defensively we've been really strong, and that's something we've struggled with in the past. So I think that's highly valued, and that's noted when those players do step up and defend.
And just for context here, how many votes did you guys receive? Do you know how many votes in total you received for the Supporters Club Awards this year?
It was a little bit lower this year, but I think it was around 130 odd.
Really?
Wow, that's so good.
That's great. And the Supporters Club, it's growing every year, isn't it, really? I mean, the numbers, last year, what were we saying we were on last year? I can't remember what it was last
400
year.
and
I don't know, about 400.
Yeah.
It's up to, I don't know, is over 500. Is it 500 now?
I don't know. I seem to spend most days.
We get requests every day. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we get requests every day. We've had to decline a few.
Really? Are they Plymouth fans by chance?
We don't know.
Well, we don't know, but it's clearly they just took it from Wikipedia.
Oh, I see.
The answers. We do have questions that we ask them to enter before we accept them.
Oh, yeah?
There's a few suspect ones. So
Thing is, guys, Facebook's slowly dying. We need to see you guys on TikTok doing some Flyers dances. That's what we need, okay?
yeah, we'll get Kevin Janet on the.
Yeah, Janet would be great.
That would be amazing. Right, let's get down to the nominees for Defensive Player of the Year. And the nominees for Defensive Player of the Year are... T-John Lucas, Tevin Ollison, Trajan Jacob, Corey Samuels, Keedy Johnson, Raphael Thomas Edwards, Leslie Smith, Pasquale Landolfi, Levi Bradley, and Brad Green. It's everyone. Everyone was nominated for the award for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not going to do that again for every award, but always got to crack out that joke at the start of the awards, isn't it? It's not award season without that joke. Yeah. Right, so shall we get down to the winner? Who would like to announce the winner?
Yeah, I'll do the winner, yeah.
Okay, so
If you're ready.
I will tee you up, Sam, and you will announce the winner. The winner of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Defensive Player of the Year is
Brad Green.
Brad Green! Brad Green, congratulations. You are the winner of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's Defensive Player of the Year. Hit the music, Sam! Brad led the league in rebounds during the 2023-24 season with 10.8 rebounds per game. He also finished 5th in the league in block shots and played in all 36 games during the regular season for the Flyers. Incredible. 44% of the votes, by the way.
I know. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday in the car. Me and Steve on our way to our own basketball match. There's also a stat which is really hard to quantify, which is when someone's that big and in the paint, like people like almost adjusting.
Like shots altered.
Yeah, shots altered, or maybe not even taking the shot because they're there,
Yeah.
but you don't really take that as a stat. And if you're watching, people do that. It's the same with Wemby. I know it's not quite the same, but Wemby in the NBA, people literally run away from him because he's like massive. And I think Brad does that for people, you know?
Yeah, he's been huge this season, and he's been double machine, isn't he?
He's been huge
I don't
for
think
a
I've
few
seen
years,
that-
Joel. He's massive.
But I don't think I've seen a Flyers player that consistently averages a double-double throughout a whole season like Brad Green has this year, right?
He's just got better and better, hasn't he?
Yeah.
As the season's gone on. And I remember early in the season meeting him for the first time and just being like, this guy is absolutely huge. He must be really terrifying under the basket for the other players.
It's amazing how he gets to both ends of the courts really quick and stuff, especially somebody his size.
He's really in shape as well.
Oh, yeah.
Really in shape for his size, 100%. Have you got a favourite Brad Green moment this season at all? Because I've got a Brad Green moment, my favourite.
Go on.
How about the first ever European win where Brad Green goes and notches 26 points out in Bulgaria?
That was when I knew. He came into his own in that game, didn't
Yeah.
he? Like the first few games were a bit slower, and then he went out to Bulgaria, and it was like, okay, Brad's arrived.
Yeah, I think it was when you put him on that European, because it's a very different style of basketball. I'm sure you would have seen that when you watched it in person, but you know, watching the European style of play, it's very big man orientated, and that is where we really, really saw the best of Brad. And that game was sort of like your welcome to Bristol Flyers moment, I felt, for Brad.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop him at all. Everything he did just worked.
Yeah. Well, Brad couldn't be here to join us on the podcast to accept his award. However, Sam, he's left us a lovely message to the Flyers family. Hit play on this.
What's going on, you guys? Brad Green here. I just wanted to thank the Bristol Flyers Supports Group for voting me Defensive Player of the Year. It was a huge year. I had a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the home crowds, the crowd you guys brought over to Poland as well. It was one hell of a year, and I'll remember all of it. Thank you guys for everything.
Well, we remember it too, Brad. Shout out Brad Green. What a guy.
I love Brad. He's so funny as well. We've been fighting a bit this year. I've been telling people I'm going to beat him up at the end of the year, but he absolutely. We had
I'd hate to see that.
We had a fight on. We tried to have a fight on. What day was it? And he just squeezed my arms and I couldn't move. So
He's been bullying me all season long on the bus.
has he?
Yeah, he'll just put his arm out on the bus and you just can't get through. When you try to walk down the bus, you just can't get through because he's just holding his arm there. You're trying to like go over, trying to go under. He's just like boxing you out there on the bus. He does that all season long. So congratulations, Brad. You're the winner of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Defensive Player of the Year. Right, it's time for us to move on to our second award, which is for Sixth Man of the Year. And this award was voted for by the fans as the player who made the most impact off the bench during the season. And Amy, this award could have gone to a whole bunch of different players because, we just spoke about it there. I mean, Les had a massive game off the bench against Cheshire, and you've seen TJ have big games. We've seen Corey contribute on both ends of the floor. There's a whole bunch of different sort of spark plug players that can come in off the bench and make an impact.
Yeah, and I think this season you've needed that more than ever with all the injury that we've had. And it's been great to see, those players get a bit more court time, even in those difficult circumstances.
Yeah. Well, Sam Hardy, would you like to read out the nominees for the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Sixth Man of the Year?
The nominees for the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Sixth Man of the Year are Trajan Jacob, Leslie Smith, Raf Thomas Edwards, and finally, Corey C4 Samuels.
That's some tough nominees there, Sam. Could have gone to any of them. But without further ado, the winner of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Sixth Man of the Year award is...
Trajan Jacob.
Congratulations to Trajan Jacob, who was named Sixth Man of the Year with 50% of the votes. TJ made 34 appearances for the Flyers this season, coming off the bench in 25 of his games. He averaged 11.9 points and 3.9 rebounds per game on 33% shooting from behind the three-point line.
When you say those rebounds he got, some of the rebounds he gets are like if he was on the offensive end, he'd be putting them back. He gets so high up on them, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he's I think with T. I mean, this for me, this could have gone two ways. I think this award because it could have gone to TJ and it could have gone to Leslie Smith. I think because Les has had some incredible performances at the bench, and especially as the season's grown later on in the season, when Brad may get in foul trouble, Les has also really stepped up. So you have to give it like an honourable mention for Leslie Smith as well, right?
And his 3-point shooting this season, Leslie, has been immense.
Yeah. And you have to remember also with Les that he took the season out a couple of years ago, so he's still sort of slowly getting back into it. And also TJ to an extent as well. Trajan, this is his second spell with the Flyers, but obviously he's had that time in Finland. I know he had that injury that he had to get over that kept him out for the rest of the season, and then he sort of just come back to where to Flyers, sort of picking up where he left off essentially. And it's the highlight plays as well. It's those moments that can just spark a crowd. And he's had plenty of highlight plays this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's great to watch, isn't he? He's quick. He kind of, again, he's another one that just makes it from one end of the court to the other in ridiculously quick time. And he's great to watch when he catches fire and he's shooting those threes as well. It's brilliant.
Top Trajan Jacob moments this year, whole bunch of them. I think the big post dunk against Sheffield Sharks to spark that comeback was a huge play from him. Half court TJ, he never had a shot from half court this season.
In that same game, when the Sheffield game, when he was fouled on the corner 3-point.
Some of those threes are outrageous.
Boom.
That was the craziest ending to a game I think I've seen. Best comeback I've seen ever, I think, in my 10 years with
Well, that was
Flyers.
a 12-point comeback in 1 minute 20 seconds.
Yeah, incredible. We do have an acceptance speech from TJ, and he was able to leave us this short message.
What's good, y'all? It's TJ, your boy. I just want to say thank you for the Supporters Club for voting me Sixth Man of the Year. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Coming back from my second spell, my third year as a pro, I couldn't ask for a better team and a better fan base to come back to. You guys are the best in the world, and I really appreciate it. And I want to give a special thank you just after my circumstances. It means a lot to be able to have the impact and come back and have you guys vote me Sixth Man. So I appreciate it, and thank you.
Congratulations to TJ, the winner of our Sixth Man of the Year award at the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Awards, and we're almost halfway through the awards.
Well, I was just going to quickly say, producer Dan, without a mic today, thanks for that. He reminded me of a really good moment, TJ, when he just bombed. Was it Tijon's podcast?
CJ
Jackson's podcast, and just lay across the front of the our studio.
He just bundled in, and he bought. Remember the one he came in and had fish and chips with us as well? That was fun. It's funny when you think about all those random moments. It's like, yeah, he just came in and bought fish and chips with us.
He's nuts, isn't he?
Yeah, he is bonkers, and we love you for that, TJ. So congratulations. You are the winner of the Supporters Club 6th Man of the Year award. 50% of the votes for that, by the way. Did I tell you?
Deserved.
Everyone was voting for TJ.
Yeah, of course.
Coming up next, it's time for our brand new award for this season's end of season Supporters Club awards, and that is for funniest moment of the year. Now, we thought we'd throw this award in for a bit of a laugh, Sam, because this was a bit of an open-ended question, wasn't it, in your fan vote? So you could have put anything.
Yeah, it was open to free text, so we've had some interest in...
Oh, here we go.
And it's actually brought back quite a lot of memories. So some things I've completely forgot about. And
I remember you texted me about one of them. He's like, what was this? And I was like, oh, yeah, this is when this happened. And you're like, oh, yeah, I remember now.
How many different answers did you get?
Oh,
Loads.
Really?
yeah, over 20.
Really?
Answers, yeah.
Go on, give us a couple of the examples of ones that we haven't narrowed it down.
Yeah, give examples outside of the top 3.
Well,
top 5 even.
so is basically we had a listen to Joel and Sam trying to avoid saying the B, and the L all season.
We've done all right at that recently, haven't we?
We've had a couple of blips, but yeah, we did okay early on, Joel.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to work out. We need to have a think about this. Who got it wrong more times? Who's done more forfeits this year?
Oh, I don't know. Producer Dan can definitely tell us. He's calculating in his head.
Joel.
You think it's me?
I reckon it's you. You've just ended up with like
Definitely
the rubbish. What
Producer
they
Dan's
called?
pointing over at me for the listener. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think you have.
Maybe.
I think I've had it twice, and you've had it 3 times.
TJ crashing the podcast and laying across the table was actually mentioned.
Oh, was it actually?
Was it Coach K getting water poured on him? That was
Oh,
quite an
yeah,
interesting
in
one.
Bulgaria. That's a great moment.
I suppose was it towards the end of the season when Lucas was dribbling on the floor in circles?
Oh, yeah.
That was quite
against
funny.
Leicester.
Yeah.
Near that corner 3, I think it
so
was.
good.
It's looking like he's playing in Harlem Globetrotters.
And another interesting one, actually, anytime there's been an impression of Joel Osborne.
Pasquale Landolfi special.
I'm Joel Osborne.
Brilliant. I'm never going to live that down, am I?
It's literally, I mean, every time I see Pasquale, he just does the voice.
He does it all the time.
Yeah, I
Whenever
know.
I speak to him on the
Obsessed.
bus, he'd be like, Joel Osborne, can you please pass me a glass of water?
Do you do it? Do you give him a glass?
Yeah, I'll be like, here you go, mate.
And then Brad puts his arm out and you can't get past.
Yeah, pretty much. That is literally what happens on the bus for away games this season. So, we've managed to narrow it down to 5 nominees. So, the 5 top voted moments, funniest moments of the year. Sam, are you ready to hit the music? The nominees for funniest moments of the year are... Leslie Smith accidentally dunking on Trajan Jacob against Bakken Bears at the ENBL.
I love that. Forgot about that.
Sam Hardy drunk in Poland on the Bristol Flyers podcast. We want coffee as Legend Robertin misses 2 back-to-back free throws to send everyone at home with a free coffee from Borough Bristol. How about this one? Leicester Riders head coach Rob Paternoster getting ejected from the SGS College Arena. And finally, we have Keely Johnson's viral poster layup against the Manchester Giants. Some great moments there, wasn't it?
Honestly, I'd say the Keely one was like less funny and more just crazy, wasn't it? It was incredible.
Yeah, well, that's why it went viral, I think. It was bonkers.
I saw one the other day. It literally was someone else posted it. I'm not even joking. Like in last week.
Really? It's still doing the rounds?
Yeah, doing the rounds again. It had like another 200,000 views on that or hits on that one.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can definitely believe that because it's not often you see someone just floating like that, is it?
Float like a butterfly.
Like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
Like he was floating on air. Right. The winner of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's funniest moment of the year is...
We want coffee.
We want coffee!
We want coffee. We want coffee. We want coffee.
Incredible.
So I think Kev actually started that chant, didn't he?
He
the
did.
first
Yeah, he
time.
did.
But do you know what? Did you notice like for 2 or 3 more games after he kept on bringing that chant
He
back?
did, and we weren't even giving away free coffee at that game.
That is genuinely what I loved about that moment is that for the first sort of 4 or 5 free throws that were taken, they missed the first one every time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they made it at the second one, and then Legend Robertin.
Yeah, well, I think they cottoned on to the fact that if they missed 2 free throws back to back, that there would be free coffee for all the fans because because I remember Evan Walsh missed his first free throw, hit his second free throw, and then pointed at us. He pointed at us and like waved his finger. And he's like, no.
No, you must be sleepy. No coffee for you.
But then Legend Robertin went to the line, and Sam, take a listen to this, because this is what happened.
Well, guess what his profession is, Ant? It's Jake Heenan. He plays for the Bristol Flyers. It looks like he's been in the wars there. In flanker position, that's a dangerous spot to play in sport.
It is indeed.
Well, can Legend give them some coffee here? Yes, everybody gets a free coffee. Look at them all going wild for their free coffee. The coffee update is apparently Jake Heenan owns the coffee shop that's giving away the free coffee, and he was the one celebrating the most. He's going to lose all that coffee, but he will get a lot of people through the door. Buy a cake, people, when you go.
That's it.
You know what's funny about that clip is that the camera like cuts to some young kids in the crowd, and you can lip read. If you can lip read well, the kid goes, "I don't even drink coffee." He goes, "I don't even drink coffee." Yeah. And he's like shaking his voucher around.
I love it that he's got a big love for British politics, Joel. The Bristol Flyers.
The Bristol Flyers. Shout out Dan Routledge. He's
one of my favourite ever commentators, and what he did there is like brilliant commentary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Shout out Jake Heenan and the team at Borough for providing us with the Supporters Club's funniest moment of the year. You know what I'm gutted about though, Sam? Drunk Sam in Poland missed out with 1% of the votes.
I wasn't drunk, Joel. I wasn't.
That was my funniest moment.
I was just having a great time, excited to be there. Oh, flip
the dance moves once again.
There's Steve Dever on the right. Do you see?
Yeah, he's loving it, mate. Look at him clapping his clap banner. And meanwhile, Sam is getting down with the beat in Poland, full of an arena, full of empty fans.
I've actually had a few people call me up and ask me to join their troops, their cheerleading troops. So, actually, joke's on you, Joel. Okay.
The coffee moment was the winner of the Supporters Club's funniest moment of the year. Definitely got the crowd going. And yeah, I'm gutted that Poland clip didn't make it there, Sam.
Dan still always finds a way, doesn't he?
Right, it's time for us to get to our penultimate award, which is for Moment of the Season. And this was a season of highs and lows, but no shortage of great moments to choose from here. And Amy, this was an open-ended question, wasn't it? Because you left it completely open to the fans to put whatever moment they wanted in there for the vote.
Yeah, we didn't want to limit them, and I think people have always got their own kind of ideas of what the best moment was. So it was really good to see. Although there weren't infinite options, were there, that people gave. So it was interesting to see what everybody kind of agreed on.
So let's have some examples of some of the moments that were submitted that finished outside of the top three. What have we got? What the fans messaged in with?
One of my favourites was thrashing the Leicester Riders at Wise on Mother's Day.
Oh, that was a great one, wasn't it?
What a Mother's Day present, eh?
Exactly.
All mums love Flyers basketball. It's the law. What else have we got?
Then we had TJ's Dunks.
TJ's Dunks, some great moments throughout the season.
And our first win in Europe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think that for me probably would have been right up there for me. The first win in Europe. That's definitely my moment of the season. I guess just because it's like a historic moment for the program, isn't it? It's first ever season in Europe, first ever away trip, first ever win. That was a really special, and obviously the scenes of Coach K getting drenched by the water afterwards as well. He was absolutely buzzing after that game as well.
You could tell, couldn't you? He's loving it.
So that was a really great moment. But we have narrowed it down to the top 3 moments of the season as voted for by the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club. Sam, would you like to take us through the top 3 moments?
Yeah, in third place was Lublin away.
Start Lublin away in Poland. Sam remembers that game really well.
No, I'd say that if we manage to go to Europe again next year, we should the trip hopefully will happen again, and everyone who didn't come should definitely come because it was a really fun time together. So yeah, anyway.
So that finished in third with 10% of the votes. What finished in second?
Trajan's half-court shot.
Trajan Jacobs' half-court shot. That finished in second with 18% of the votes. But the winner of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's moment of the season with 46% of the votes is...
Keedy Johnson's three-quarter shot.
Keedy Johnson's three-quarter shot against the Plymouth City Patriots.
That was insane. It was one of the best. It was probably one of the longest ones we've ever had as a Flyers fan. Was it, Joel?
That's definitely the longest I've ever seen a shot go in from an SGS. 100%.
Was that the same? That wasn't the same game that we had.
That was the Plymouth comeback that we. I know we didn't win that game, but that moment. What was the crowd like in that moment? Because I imagine it must have been absolutely rocking.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, wasn't it? I often come home and I can't speak for the next 2 days, but after that particular game, I think we could have all said that. It was electric.
Yeah. Sam, have you ever seen a shot go in from that distance at SGS before? I don't think we have.
No, I don't think we have, no.
Yeah.
Quite a few half-court shots, but not from that distance.
But it's moments like that, really, because after that, we sort of went on that comeback attempt against Plymouth, and you all felt like, man, it's maybe going to get over the line, and it's just moments like that really spark a run, and you just feel the energy in the whole arena just suddenly switch, don't you?
Yeah, it's surprising how it does switch, and it gets everybody going, and with that momentum, you think we're going to make it.
Yeah, and so we didn't come out on top in that game, unfortunately. We did bounce back the day after that with a big win over Cheshire Phoenix away from home.
Huge win.
And Sam, we've got a clip of the moment of the season. Have a listen to this.
Doesn't seem like either team want to add to their tally here. Well, he had a second to drill. Oh! From three-quarter court, Keedy Johnson. What a way to finish the third quarter from his own free throw line. Is that the spark that the Bristol Flyers needed? Incredible finish to the third quarter from Keedy Johnson.
I saw a comment on YouTube, actually, because I was taking that video off YouTube.
Taking it off?
No, I was taking the video, so to use it on the podcast, I was bringing it off of YouTube to use it in the edit. And one of the fans commented saying, is that the spark that Flyers needed? Yes, but they didn't have enough wood to fuel the fire to get over the line. I was like, that's quite smart, to be fair.
If we listen back to that one more time, just the first bit, the cool thing you can hear is you hear the buzzer go, and then you hear the crowd shout, which shows how long it took the ball to actually hit. So let's hear it again.
Doesn't seem like either team want to add to their tally here. Well, he had a second to drill. Oh!
Yeah, you do hear that, don't you? That's crazy.
It must have been it was a long way away, so yeah, brilliant.
So congratulations to Keedy for winning Supporters Club's moment of the season. Which means we are down to our final award of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club End of Season Awards 2024, which is for the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's Player of the Year. Now, this award is a big one because this one was voted for by the fans as the player that they felt was the MVP on the team this season. And I know VJ King won this award last season for the Flyers. It was quite a straightforward voting process, that one, because he was the standout player on the team. This year, though, the voting was very spread, wasn't it? Because loads of different players can get hot on any given night.
Yeah, it was quite back and forth with the voting, so keep an eye on it throughout when it was open, and it was changing all the time.
Yeah. So, and I think, am I right in thinking this one was decided by 1% of the votes?
Well, it was actually by one vote.
Was it by one vote?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So one vote decided the winner of this. So you could not call it. This award could have gone to a whole bunch of different players. But we should probably get to the top three, I imagine. So shall we go for who finished in third place?
Third place was Brad Green.
Brad Green. Congratulations, Brad. Brad had 22% of the vote. So you can see here just how divided the Flyers fans are in the voting, because Brad finished third with 22% of the votes.
That's huge.
It's crazy. So in second place with 30% of the votes is
Keedy Johnson.
Keedy Johnson. Congratulations to Keedy, which means in first place, the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's Player of the Year 2024 is
It's Tevin Ollison.
Tevin Ollison! Congratulations, Tevo. You are the winner of the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's Player of the Year. Sam, play the music, please. Congratulations to Tevin Ollison, who is the winner of the 2023-24 Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's Player of the Year award. Tevin returned to the Wise campus for his second year with the club this season after averaging 10 points per game for the Flyers in his rookie campaign. This year, Tevin upped his scoring averages, becoming a bona fide all-star in the league. He made 33 appearances for the Flyers, finishing 10th in the league in scoring with 16.4 points per game. He also shot an impressive 37% from behind the three-point line. Congratulations, Tevin Ollison, our Bristol Flyers Supporters Club's Player of the Year. That was nice, wasn't it? That was a nice little way to end it.
Lovely.
Tevin Ollison, incredible. Decided by one single vote. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it was back and forth all throughout the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. But like you say, it could have gone to either of them, couldn't it? Keedy missed out by one vote. Keedy really came into his fore on his return from injury, didn't he? After he had that 2-month injury layoff, particularly towards the playoff stretch as well. He got named Player of the Month in April. 3 straight appearances in a British Basketball League Team of the Week as well. He was huge.
That's saying something, isn't it?
Yeah, it was massive. And Tevin also, talking about Tevin, he was named our British Basketball League All-Star this season, All-Star Reserve.
Robbed from the MVP, mate. Robbed.
He was. We'll talk about it in the podcast before, but robbed of All-Star Game MVP from Teddy Allen.
He was still in all the branding for it, though, isn't he? He's thrown that lob from Mackenzie. For all the finals branding. So, yeah, what a legend.
How great has Tevin been this year? Because he... obviously, second year with the club, his level of play has really stepped up from his first year, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's been great to have him back. I mean, it's always nice when a player returns, isn't it? But Tevin, I'd say this season, he's just been a really good all-rounder. But again, when he catches fire with the threes, it's just... the crowd goes wild, don't they, Sam?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, the high point for me, Joel, was that flipping game against London. I'm telling you right now. Oh, yeah.
25 first half points for 31 on the night.
Well, we were worried that it was going to go crazy because Matt Morgan came out and hit 17 points in 6 minutes. But Tevo had a response for that. A huge jam at the end of the first half. It was just electric, Joel.
Yeah, he had a really seamless transition as well from sort of, being that 10-point per game player last season on a team that had a bunch of different scorers to now being the guy, the scorer on the team and leading the way. And it really paid off for him. And it's really great to see how he adjusts to the different role. He took the opportunity with both hands, didn't he?
It's the crossover pullback 3-point from miles out, which is the one for me, Joel. He's just so good at that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was huge. So congratulations to Tevin Ollison, our Flyers Supporters Club Player of the Year this year. And Tevin has left us this short message.
Hey, it's Tevin Ollison, and I just want to give a big thank you to the supporters group for voting me as the Player of the Year this year. It's been a really great year with these guys, and I really appreciate this year, and I really appreciate the fans for supporting us throughout the entire season. It was a great season. We had a lot of ups and downs, but we fought to the end, and that's what I really love about this team. So yeah, thanks.
Shout out Tevin. What a message that was. We love you, Tevin.
Love Tev.
And that's it. Our Bristol Flyers Supporters Club End of Season Awards 2024 is a wrap. That's crazy. It's gone so quickly.
I mean, it's gone really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be over quite yet. I know we've got one more episode, a live episode coming up next week, Joel, but you deserve some time off as well, mate. It's about time.
We've got a few more weeks yet, but we will have some time off very, very soon. Sam, Amy, thank you so much for joining us on the Flyers podcast once again this season. For those that want to get involved with the Flyers Supporters Club or join the group on Facebook, tell them how they can do so.
So it's just Bristol Flyers Supporters Group on Facebook. Join there and maybe we can bust out some TikTok dances. I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we need. I'll be sure to post the link to join in the description of this episode if you're listening to the podcast feed. I'll put in the link on YouTube if I can as well. I don't know if it works on YouTube, but we'll see. What are you going to do without Flyers basketball this summer?
I don't know. We always try and catch up, don't we? Sort of our little area that we sit in, we always try and catch up in the off season because it's just too long. I mean, it's not for you guys, you need a break, but
yeah, and I have so much sport going on anyway, so for me is
cricket now, isn't it?
Cricket, tennis.
Euros is coming up as well.
Yeah, that's it. Wrestling, got some wrestling on the cards, more pay-per-views.
Yeah,
so yeah, there you go. There's plenty of sport for Sam to get stuck into this off season, and Flyers will be back before you know it. That is our Supporters Club episode. But don't forget, Flyers fans, we are back for one more episode this season, which is our live season finale on the court at the SGS College Arena. Tuesday, May 14th, we're hosting a live podcast in front of a crowd on the court at SGS. Doors open at 6 p.m. Come and join fellow members of the Flyers family, just like Sam and Amy over here, for a great night of Flyers family entertainment. Celebrate the end of the season. A great night for all involved. It'll be your last chance to meet and greet our 23-24 roster. And you can get your free tickets now over at bristolflyers.co.uk. One more episode to go, Sam. Are you excited for the off-season?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I am, but I do miss it. But I'm ready to sit down, watch some Euros and have a few fresh waters this summer. Do you know?
Sam and Amy, thank you for joining us on the podcast. Thank you for your support. And we will see you next week at the end of season event. You guys going to be there?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us today.
You are more than welcome. Don't forget, if you are enjoying the Bristol Flyers podcast, to give us a like, comment and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the audio feed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a rating and review. And share with a friend as well. We love it when you share with a friend. We haven't had a review in a while, have we either, Sam? We should get one of those going really soon. We'll read out every review. Producer Dan, thanks for pushing the buttons. Thanks to Sam and Amy for joining us on the pod. And thanks to you, Sam, for joining us this season. This is our last episode in the studio this season as well.
What?
Well, we're not going to be in the studio next week.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
So the studio is finished.
Dan's going to be all lonely in here when he sleeps here every night for the whole of the summer, all alone.
He's shaking his head over there, actually. But from Joel, Sam, and producer Dan, we'll see you next week right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.